The latest PayInc Net Salary Index has revealed that inflation has finally eased enough to give South African salary earners temporary relief. It shows average take-home pay rose just 0.2% in July to around 21,600 rand. Independent economist Elise Kruger notes while easing inflation lifted real net salaries in July for the first time in 9 months, this may be short-lived.
In July, we had a moderation to 4.3% on consumer price inflation. And given that we deflate by that index, it did indeed, in the month of July, be a positive, factor for the real salary to increase somewhat. So, unfortunately, as we speak, we're expecting a further round of fuel price increases at the beginning of September that will result in a renewed upward pressure on consumer price inflation, both in August and in September. And I think it will erode, that benefit again as we move towards those higher inflation months. But it really just shows us as well that how inflation is the enemy and how that is eroding the purchasing power of salary earners.
While the moderating inflation provided some breathing room for salary earners in July, Kruger says purchasing power remains weaker than a year ago. She says this reflects the strain facing businesses and the broader labor market with weaker economic conditions and pressure on company profitability.
I think that there's some pressure in the labor market, there's some pressure in the economy. We started this year optimistic about economic prospects, and those optimism was really derailed by the Middle East conflict and the significant fuel price increases that hit the economy. It hit not only the pockets of households but also the input cost of businesses. It has placed businesses' profitability under pressure, and there's also a cloud of uncertainty as to when all of this will end. We're still looking at further increases in fuel prices. We are still at elevated levels. So that input cost increase that we have seen in the economy over the past 6 months is still a factor that's impacting the everyday today businesses in South Africa.
The data shows remuneration growth varied significantly between industries. Mining was one of the sectors where workers saw significantly stronger remuneration growth given the boom in commodity prices. Kruger warns, however, that the next 6 months are expected to remain challenging for household finances. Nosipho Khatebe, SABC News, Johannesburg.